I'm Big Bob.
And I'm Ann.
What's up?
What's up, Big Bob?
Great. What's up, Big Ann?
Oh boy, did I have a weekend.
I don't want to hear about it.
Okay.
Me too.
Mr. David Block is our guest today. Before we start, with just a great shout out to our producer, Brenda Ringwood, who is also the founder of Becoming the Best You. And we're thrilled to death to be here and get to know our new guest.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
David Block. That's got to be the biggest name in the real estate world in Kansas City.
Okay.
Bigger than your name.
No, I don't think
No,
so.
yeah.
We're just one of many. There's plenty of big names in real estate in Kansas City.
How old is Block?
70, I think 78 years, I believe that we are this year.
You don't look that old.
No, I'm not that old, but I have been almost 50 there, which is not
It's a long
a
time.
pretty sight.
We're next month we're celebrating 40 years. So
You don't look a day over 39.
No,
I started here when I was 14. So
me too.
you too. Was it your father?
My father and my uncle, James Block and Alan Block, started the company right after World War II. They were both in, veterans of World War II, and they went right into business when they got back.
Always commercial real estate.
Always commercial. Didn't do any residential other than, some sales of apartments and lots for houses, big parcels though, to residential builders.
Was this something you always thought you'd go into, or did you have ideas for something else?
Well, actually, I was in restaurant and in food and hospitality when I got out of college, and
Where
I
did you
went
go
to
to school?
Emporia.
Emporia.
Actually, it was College of Emporia. Then it became down the street. That college closed, and I ended up at Kansas State Teachers College, which is now Emporia State. Yeah, and so my dad asked me to come in,
Right.
and I said, I don't really know much about your business. And that was after college. And I said, I'll come and I'll try it out. He said, just try it out for 6 months. And, 49 and a half years later, here I am.
You must have liked it.
Well, it's been, I like it because every day is different,
Right.
and you get to deal with a lot of local people like this gentleman right here and yourself, and lots of great Kansas City people trying to build a lifestyle for themselves.
So is your reach just in the metro area? Do you extend beyond
Well, we're
that?
pretty much in the Midwest, Colorado, Missouri, Kansas, Iowa, Illinois, Nebraska. And then we do some stuff in Texas and a few other states, but mainly the greater Kansas City market.
Do the deals find you, or you have to go out and find deals?
Well, both. We have people that come to us, and we, like national companies, we always do a lot of tenant representation where we would represent folks that want to open up a lot of locations, starting out with Quick Trip and McDonald's and
Wow.
just about every food guy and Dick's Sporting Goods and Best Buy, and I could go on and
So
on.
what do you
with
do if you
national
want a
retailers.
business to come here, a retail business? If I told you which one, you'd probably laugh, but
Well, we do a lot of tenant rep, like I say. So if someone wants to come to Kansas City, we would go out and do all of the research throughout the greater Kansas City area and find out might be the best locations for your particular kind of use based upon your customer. So, like in the case of Dick's, when we brought them, we basically strategized about the entire market and brought them in with 8 locations, including going up to Topeka and some of the outs, eventually St. Joe, but throughout Kansas City. And in that first case, they all opened up on the same day. Same thing when we brought Circuit
Wow.
City to Kansas
Wow.
City. Yeah, it was a tough tough task.
Did you do Whataburger?
We've done some of the Whataburgers. Yes.
I mean, that's
Uh,
a cultural thing that just hit here
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah, but you know what I want here? I don't know. if
Yeah,
you've heard of
In-N-Out.
them. Buc-ee's.
oh yeah,
In-N-Out would be
Buc-ee's.
good.
Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's. I know.
Not
Didn't
far
they get
off.
one in Springfield or
Not
something?
far off.
You're bringing
Really?
Buc-ee's to town?
I'm not bringing Buc-ee's to town,
Ah,
but I
Buc-ee's might
understand
come.
that Buc-ee's is not far away.
If you would like to have,
I like Buc-ee's
I
too,
do too.
but I like Quick Trip.
Yeah.
if you would like to have the name of the absolute best ice cream store in America,
Sure.
Grader's Ice Cream out of Cincinnati, and they have storefronts in Cincinnati, but they also ship all over the
Yeah, he
country.
gets his dessert mailed to him.
Yeah,
I
Grader's
like
ice
it. I
Grader's
like
ice-
Graders.
you're familiar.
No, but if you like them, I like them
Best
because
ice
I
cream.
like ice
How do you
cream.
spell that again? Graders?
Grader's.
Like graders? Great. It's great. Graders.
Don't forget to email that to me.
Um,
Graders. That's what we do. People go, oh, I've been to a market. I saw this thing. I love them. We contact them. We go, come to Kansas City.
So
Let's-
is In-N-Out going to be coming?
I don't think it's too far off.
Good.
I think in the next few years
what's
we'll
happening
probably
on
see
the
it.
plaza?
Well, it looks like it's going to get sold.
I
It'll
heard
be a
that.
new owner.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that gonna change?
I think it will make some big changes. You know, there's a lot of money that's got to be spent
People
on the
that-
plaza to upgrade the brick and mortar infrastructure that's there now. You know, I'm an
Tenant.
owner through some partners in some buildings on the plaza. I have been working on security issues to bring more a much larger police presence.
That's a
to-
great line of questioning, but based on your experience over
Over
Yeah.
the weekend,
And make it so that everyone throughout the Kansas City area feels that it's a safe environment, which I believe it is safe, but you know, it's not what I think, it's what perception
Right.
is in the Johnson County and throughout greater Kansas City market, because now you have so many competing retail areas throughout greater Kansas City that are competing with the plaza, you know, between Zona Rosa and the Legends and Leewood Town Center and Lee Summit Town Center, so on and so forth. So the plaza has got to bring in a number of,
She's hijacking our
you're
show.
hijacking
I
our-
just saw that. Yeah, because we have some stuff. Hang on.
you're ruining the whole thing, Brenda.
Brenda,
God.
really, seriously?
It's called
Hey,
Eric.
producer.
I
Maybe
know.
you
I
can
This
edit
was
it.
not in my contract.
Hang on a second.
But I
What
think
is
that
it
it's going to
doing?
end
You're
up
on the
with
fluffers.
there'll be a new owner, and I think it will be good because they will be more local and regional oriented. Hopefully, where they'll bring in more one of a kind stores that will basically demand folks go to the plaza in order to get these particular goods rather than to any enclosed or outside retail shopping center.
There are two main topics I would like to hit with you. One is snatch and grabs, defund the police, no prosecution. And the other one is the ever-present online purchasing that might kill brick and
Mhm.
mortar. I mean, those are two huge elephants in the room.
Okay,
Which one do you want to tackle first?
doesn't really matter.
Let's tackle the online.
Online. Yeah.
Online.
Okay, online? Yes. Well, I think that if COVID didn't prove the viability of brick and mortar, then we're not going to be able to change anyone's mind about the future. What I believe is the reality of what has happened since COVID is that the market decides whether you will be successful, whether you're online or you are brick and mortar. There are a lot of new retailers and restaurants that are coming to Kansas City that are opening up brick and mortar, that are opening up more stores. A lot of the big boxes are coming back now, trying to open up brick and mortar again here.
Really?
Yeah,
Really cool.
junior box as well. PetSmart and Petco, grocery stores that are opening up multiple new locations. Some of the office guys are coming back in right now. Furniture people are coming in trying to open up more
Crazy.
store.
Like crazy.
Oh yeah, and I could go on and on. A lot of discount. There's some sporting goods that are going to be opening up a number of stores in Greater Kansas City. There are some upgraded some of the dollar stores have got some very high end stores that they now own that are coming in and going to be opening up a lot of new stores. And what people found is, yeah, it's very easy to buy stuff online, but the Midwest is tire kicking country.
Yeah, I like to touch and feel.
They want to go out.
Experience
I
it.
mean, they've figured out that, yeah, I like to get stuff if I'm maybe an older person that doesn't want to go to a grocery
or
store.
just the basics that I know what I'm going to
But
get.
most people want to go to the grocery store. They like that impulse. And
I don't want my groceries delivered. I want to walk. I walk up and down the aisles
What's
knowing
new?
there's nothing in this
Yeah.
aisle I'm going to buy,
right.
but I'm still going to walk up and down the aisle.
I do it, and I know a lot of folks do. And the millennials, they want immediate gratification. So as much as they like to buy things online, they want to go to Best Buy. They want to see all the different TV sets. They want to see a lot of these things. Same thing with tennis shoes. They want to go out and try them on, walk
Exactly.
around in them, see if they feel good. And so a lot of these stores that are expanding right now are those stores that have made it by the fact that the marketplace has proven that they can compete against the internet, and brick and mortar is going to be here, and it's here to stay.
I love that because, like, for example, I purchased a pair of shoes online. Thought I wanted them. Great price, great size. I get them, wrong size. Send them back.
No.
Wrong size. Send them back. Wrong size. I'm going into the store. It's cost me more in time and money just
Yeah.
to get the convenience of online
I
shopping.
think it's more about service.
Well, that too,
I
but-
want the personal service. That's why I go shop brick and mortar. Some people don't want to interact with people, and that's why they order
Oh,
online.
you just want everybody to know who you are.
No. And in the floor covering,
Exactly.
asshole. In the floor covering,
Don't forget to
Calling
wear
in your
this shirt
family
when you
names.
go out.
You're right. In the floor covering industry, you can buy flooring online, but who's going to install it?
Mhm.
Who's going to receive it? Who's going to cut it for each room size, stretch it in, and make it work?
Exactly.
There's always going to be a service industry. Brick and mortar flooring will always have service, but I don't know if we'll always be able to capture the retail part of it.
The experience.
Commercial wise, you can't go online and order your material commercially for flooring,
Mhm.
but I think you can do it eventually for the retail homeowner.
Yes.
And we're in a flux of who knows what's going to happen next 10, 15 years.
So I think that we will be okay with brick and mortar. There will be transition. There will be things that people will continue to buy more of online. But there are going to be a whole series of younger people that still like to go out and shop. It actually becomes a social event. It's something that they think is fun.
Well, so what
It
are your
won't be the
thoughts?
malls, maybe,
Well,
but
that's
it
what I
will
was
be the
gonna ask
shopping
you.
centers.
Are the malls per se dying, but your brick and mortar and like an outside shopping center like Town Center,
Mm.
are the malls per se not going to?
Excuse me. No,
Revival.
I don't think so. I think that they are geographically driven because of weather. You have to remember that. Is that go to New York City or the East Coast in wintertime between November through March, and the weather, you might go, I'm going to go to the mall. In Arizona, go there in the summertime. You're going to go to the mall.
Right.
There's nothing open during the day in the outside strip centers, so there's a lot of places that are geographically driven. And if they are like Oak Park Mall, where they're out in the middle of a very, very strong neighborhood and community and bedroom community, they should be very strong forever. If they have a lot of schools around
Yeah.
where people have grown up and their kids go, parents go, their kids are going to go, they should be solid for many, many years to come.
I love it.
Grab and run.
Yeah, grab and go. We've not had, knock on wood, the kind of problems that they've had in many other marketplaces where they have not prosecuted and do nothing to people that are basically wanting things for free.
What are
There are problems.
Oh,
There
yeah.
are issues.
if I'm a store owner, can I put an armed guard outside my store and say, "Don't let the thieves in or out"?
Yes, you can. A lot of people are doing it. A lot of people did it before, though.
Right.
Well, it just depends on what city you're in. Are
Okay.
you in Blue Springs?
Not yet.
Are you in Independence?
I'll move there. if
Are
I have
you
to.
in
Yeah, I am
Liberty? Are
I
you
am
in Lee Summit?
Yeah, I'm in.
Well, all
some-
I'm saying is that, or are you in Kansas City, Missouri, or in Kansas City, Kansas? It depends on the city that you're in. It's like what state are you in and what county are you in as to whether it is acceptable or unacceptable. The areas that prosecute tend to have a lot less of that issue. The cities where they
Imagine
just
that.
slap your hand and go, don't do this, you'll have more of it.
Okay, then I'm gonna say what you told me not to say, and if you
Okay,
don't want
don't
to,
say
you can
it.
cut it out.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Say it.
I was at a major retailer in Overland Park, and I'm withholding the name, but I was there Saturday evening shopping. Long story short, I was trying to get some clothes off the racks, but they were all hooked together. And so one of the store clerks came and helped me, and he said, "Hey, we have to do this now. If you notice, we closed that entrance and just have one entrance." I go, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, because we have a lot of people that just shop."
Oh, you're very suspicious looking.
Okay,
that
I
hoodie.
know.
The
I
He
hoodie.
is
know.
right about that.
Yeah, the hoodie. You notice the hoodie?
You know what?
You might as well put
I'm
it
just
back
going to
up.
accuse you of being the one in this scenario. But so he said, like daily, multiple times, they have people come in, even with little kids, and they know they can get away with it, and they just walk out holding stuff, smiling at the clerks because the clerks, one, can't chase them. Two, they got security cameras, but the cops typically don't do anything about it. So people just come in and wipe them clean every day. And I'm like, seriously? In Overland Park? This is a regular thing, and there's nothing you can do about it or will do about it?
There is something they can do about it. They decide not to do anything about it because perception and internet and all you need is one bad problem and you're the bad guy
Yeah.
because you are supporting the law. Now, I have a mall, an enclosed mall over at 63rd and Troost. We have Kansas City, Missouri police officers there and always have. And we have very, very, very little problems.
You prosecute.
Well, they get arrested. And depending upon what the store wants to do, but the police officers are going to arrest them. And we don't have we don't have any hardly, knock on wood, tagging or exterior problems or cars being stolen in the parking lot or interior problems with multiple kids trying to come in or whatever age group and trying to steal. We don't have that because we have a deterrent there.
So we grew up in a different time.
That's for sure. Yeah.
For
Well, at
the
least
life-
you did.
Right.
Back when you used to babysit me and her.
Yeah, yeah. He had to pause for a second. Did I?
What,
Go ahead.
what year were you born?
Well, I just turned 40. I'm not telling all of your people my age. They're just going to have
I
to
just
guess.
I just want to know if I was here that year.
Let's say it was
maybe
in the
you were my son.
60s.
Well, maybe you were. I wasn't here in the 60s.
Actually, in the
You couldn't-
50s.
You couldn't have been my son because I wasn't here in the 60s. So,
Oh, shoot. Okay, I was in the 70s.
Well, I was very active in this. Anyways, can't imagine how far the pendulum has swung on social issues just as it relates to retail. I recall being a young kid going into the soda shop, buying a comic book, being able to read. I mean, it was a safe neighborhood place.
Sure. And I think that it still is in many cases. You can't just take a big, huge spray can brush, you can't paint a big swath on this. You have to look at it regionally, I think, and realize that what is the city telling people, what is the police force telling people, and what are the stores telling people?
Politicians.
Well, politicians as well. I mean, the politics gets involved and there's not a lot we can do about that because they've been elected by their people. So, I mean, it is what it is. But if you go to certain areas and you get arrested and they realize that, hey, if you steal, you will be arrested, I think that you will see a lot less problem than where you have no deterrent and it's just like, come on in. And that's why you're seeing all these stores in California that are closing, Targets, drugstores,
Moving.
big department stores
Saks.
that are just closing.
Nordstrom's.
And then you go, well, why are they closing? Well, it's because there is no deterrent, and they are too worried about their perception and
Right.
reputation to actually say, let's bring in armed security guards or let's arrest people if they're going to steal.
Yeah, I even heard in California, and I could be wrong, but I heard this. There's like a limit, like you can steal upwards of $950.
Yeah, sure.
So let's pivot. Interest rates.
Mhm.
How much does that affect your business?
Well, we had very good years during COVID. We were very, very busy because there was not a lot of new construction going on.
Inventory is supply and demand.
So existing brick and mortar was like gold. And so, I mean, we literally sold or leased almost everything during COVID. And we manage and lease quite a bit of property throughout Greater Kansas City, mainly, shopping centers, retail, restaurant,
How many
hotels, stuff like that.
zeros?
Oh, 8.5 million, 9 million square feet or so, something in that range.
So let's just round it up. 1 billion square feet.
Less than that, but
A little
yeah,
less than 1 billion square feet.
but but that's in 300-400 buildings.
I'm trying to count your money. So if the
Well,
average
it's not
space,
my money, but okay.
No. So if the average space goes for $15 a foot, $20
Yeah.
a foot,
Right.
times a billion, 20 billion a year. So you're managing about 20 billion a year.
Probably. I don't know exactly. I
Dollars.
don't
mean,
know.
I'm just guessing. I'm trying to make you look awfully big and
Well, I don't
successful.
want to look big. I want
I want all the
we're stealth.
I want all the non-for-profits to
Yeah.
see this podcast and call you up and ask
And
for
we
money.
we rent so much Johnson County not-for-profits. We rent every vacant space out to not-for-profits during the holidays. In fact, the Johnson County that they give away to all of the homeless folks in Johnson County is out at across from Oak Park Mall in 30,000 feet right now, going to be opening up for Christmas. We do Fox 4 Love Fund. I could go on and on with all the different places that we
Thank
donate
you for your
around town.
community service.
Oh, all over the place. That is, if we have a space and it's not rented over Christmas, we will almost always give it to charity events, no matter what part of town that they're in. Over at the Landing, we always do one. We do one up north. We do one all over town.
Has this always been a part of your business since
Yeah,
your
it
father?
has
and-
been. Yeah.
And what's the phone number people can call you if they want a charitable contribution?
Give him yours. Give him his.
Please call me.
What's the phone number here, Miss Producer?
And I'll pass it on to Mr. Block.
It's over at Big Bob's at
Super.
75th and I-35. Come on
Come
out.
on
The
down.
doors are open.
You'll be
Free
floored.
turkeys every day of the year.
I don't think there's a security guard here either.
We just watch him chase him out the door.
But the
And
turkeys-
that's okay.
All
That's
right.
okay.
So
You got to
interest-
do what you got to do to
so
protect
interest-
your inventory. Interest rates. Interest rates have been an interesting issue for the last year. Okay. So most people that do what I do for a living kind of saw where we were going and the way the feds were increasing rates and that it wasn't going to stop. So a lot of folks in our industry that do real estate, commercial real estate for a living, were out cementing in their rates for longer terms last year and the year before and the last 3 years. Where most of the people got bit is in construction loans where they were figuring stuff maybe 2 years ago and then they went out and built
Right.
stuff that's under construction today. And so they're out borrowing money on today's rates, which is 2 and 3 times what it was
And
when
the
you
cost of-
started the
And
plan.
the cost of materials is going up too.
Cost of materials, supply chain is just a mess.
Yeah.
Getting HVAC and roofing materials is really difficult. And the prices, I mean, literally doubled and tripled.
Through the roof,
in
no
those-
pun intended.
The roof is
Through the roof.
crazy.
You made it funny.
Yeah, he does stand-up comedy at the comedy shop every weekend, Saturday night.
Try the veal. I'm here till Thursday. So,
So rates have been an issue and they have slowed residential. They've seriously slowed because If I'm buying a house, what am I saying? I can't afford to pay this. I looked at it last year and it was a third of my rate. So I'll just wait. Well, what's going to happen? You wait, as soon as rates start to come down, everybody's going to come. So I say to my folks in our industry, it's opportunity. So how do you get around that rate? Well, you either put more money down and borrow less and maybe get a loan that is a short-term, lower interest rate
Balloon?
loan.
Are you talking about balloons?
A balloon that might be 5 years, so you can get past all of this.
So you're saying 5 years from now it might come back down?
Well, I'm saying I think it'll come down in the next year.
Depends
Or
who gets
two.
reelected.
Well, either
Depends
way,
on-
I think it will come down next
Depends-
year. I think it will come down.
We had a conversation about this before you showed up. Trump, Biden, or Kennedy? Kennedy's not looking that bad.
Yeah.
Um,
I won't go
Next
to
one.
politics.
Next,
All I'm
Well,
saying
no
is that I
politics.
think that if you can buy something at a good price today, and then 2 years from now get a really good interest rate, or even 3 years from now, and live with that rate for now, the whole key is buying it right. You make your money when you buy, not when you sell.
next question. Why does it seem like there's a whole lot more apartment complexes being built in the last 5 years than homes? Why are we seeing society move out of the American dream of owning your own home and moving into apartments?
Well, it's just a lot less. First of all, in an apartment, you don't have to go out and get a loan.
Right.
And in many of them, they're even furnished. So it's just a lot less headaches. People don't want less headaches these days.
Less maintenance.
And the millennials want to have a lot less headaches. Some of them are now looking at going into homes, but still the interest rates are high. So their parents are probably saying, wait, and they're thinking, wait. And so people are filling apartments, but the last 3 years before now, apartments were cheaper to build and they were cheaper to rent, but cheaper than owning a home. And there were not a lot of,
But the mortgage payment is relatively the same.
but the developers that build single family homes are having a harder time getting loans themselves.
Okay.
So apartments, the lending arena has loved to make loans on multi-unit apartment complexes. And so that's still a popular thing. On single family homes, they're going, oh, wait, the lending community is going, well, interest rates are higher. So we're worried that you might not be able to sell that house. And so we're not going to make you a
Yeah.
loan on 300 homes or 200 homes. So there's a lot less of those being built.
I would have thought maybe the opposite, because if I'm loaning somebody X times 300, I got all my eggs in one basket. If I'm loaning this guy to build the houses and he has to resell it and I get a chance to refinance it, I got 300 different eggs. No?
No.
Okay.
It's a lot easier. You have to look at it, put yourself in the shoes of the lender.
Right.
Do I want to have 300 half-built houses or one built apartment building that's empty? Which one will be easier to sell
Mhm.
if I take it back?
Got it. Thank you.
Will I be able to sell to a builder this apartment complex and he can fill it up and he'll pay me for it? Or will I be able to sell him 300 homes that are all empty?
Right.
Which is easier?
You
The
got
lender
apartments.
looks at it like, oh God, look, we'll take a loss on this. Just get it out of here. Over here, it's even finding someone that will buy all that. It's
All right.
not easy to find a lot of home builders
Yeah.
in 2023. And the ones that are out there, you got to give them credit because they're shooting craps,
You like craps too?
I do. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe she would do it. I like craps.
You crap a lot.
Well, let's
We're
all
talking dice.
I know.
go to the crap tables.
You're still a young man.
Hopefully. Thank you.
Do you see yourself slowing down?
I don't know why.
I love that answer.
I don't know anyone in my industry that's done what I do before me that ever slowed down. Not many of them retired.
No, I can't agree with you more. I want to die with my boots on. I don't want to go home and do the honeydew and watch Netflix.
That
Matter of
sounds
fact,
fun, though.
no, it doesn't. Matter of fact, I'm not looking for more work. I'm looking for different jobs. I got to stay busy.
Exactly.
I mean, I think the guys who get to your stage in life have too much juice just to turn it off and say, "Well, I'm done for the day."
Yeah, I hate that thought. You hit a certain age and it's like you're done. No.
Right.
Why is that?
Well,
I
yeah, I
mean,
hate that.
why is that? I mean, if the government could keep raising, Social Security and everything else, why do we have to
Wait,
just
you don't
listen
need
to
Social
them?
Sec-
Like you're going
you
to
don't-
follow them?
Right.
It's like I don't understand. I think it's just dependent upon the individual, and they get to decide. Hopefully, they get to decide, and it's not decided for them how long they want to work and what they want to do. I'm involved in some other industries other than just commercial real estate.
You want to talk about the museum?
The chapels. Yeah, I love chapels. That's fun.
Wait. Does his office look a little bit like your
Oh
office?
yeah,
or
I
maybe
love.
like
Oh yeah,
Chapel's?
yes,
Right?
it does. We have some of the same photos. Let's see, which one is this one?
I'm
Look at
actually
these
kind of
guys.
surprised all these aren't just pictures of Big.
Yes, this looks a lot like my office.
Floor to ceiling.
Yep, I love it.
Right.
Yeah, I love it. I really do. And you don't keep much space. I'm looking for some of the same things that we have.
He probably stole a few from you.
No, I don't know.
No,
He's
no,
got
yeah.
much different things than I
No,
have.
his security's a lot tight. He has a guy at the front door.
Oh,
No,
Chat-
she's
chat-
actually
talk
she's a
about-
lady.
Talk about Chapels.
I love Chapels. Chapels is
One of the best hamburgers in town.
great hamburger, great. We have great grilled cheeses. We've got all kind chicken fried steaks, but we have meatloaf and sloppy Joe. Where do you get that?
yeah,
So
that's the
how
good
did you
stuff.
end up with this?
Well, Jim Chappell, who I've known forever, and Bob Llewellyn, who was a councilman forever, who was my partner, and his kids are my partner. They own the Well, which we're
Did they own
redeveloping now.
Llewellyn's too? Or is that somebody
No,
else? That was
that's
somebody else.
some other folks, and they own the Well, and they own Lou's, and then they own the little bar and rest in Brookside too.
Right.
Great operators. We're redeveloping the Well right now as an apartment complex with the EPC, this development group, and so his dad actually took me up to Bob Llewellyn took me to Chapels, and I met Jim, and so I started talking to Jim. I said, whenever you want to sell, and then we thought we had a group from California that was going to buy it. He contacted me a few years back, probably 6 years ago, and we brought in this group from California. They didn't do such a good job, so I ended up with it with a couple of local folks, and Jim's still there. And he
He's the official greeter.
he's official greeter. He's there all the time. There's always famous football and baseball players in there. Bobby Bell was in there last week, actually
Does he
with
still
me.
do
And,
the thing with the coin?
oh yeah,
Can he still take that out of your hand?
oh he
I
does.
grew up next door to him.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Oh, he's such
nice guy.
he's a prince,
Yeah.
and he's got some of the greatest stories. And he's got helmets from every school in the Midwest. And there you go
Oh,
in there, he'll
okay.
tell you where your helmet's from. So you got to get up there and try the food and walk around, because it's one museum that there's nothing like.
What other business do you have? What are your thumbs? And
Well, I'm
Stuff
in
that
a
aren't
few
even
other
related
restaurants
to-
and
like what? You don't want to say?
I'm involved in some stuff out off Warnell Road, some bar
Okay.
restaurants,
All right,
and
right.
nothing of
Consequence.
of big, that your customers would be interested in.
I only got 6 people listening. Well, I don't know
Okay.
what they like.
And we're involved in some retail stores and some magazine publications and stuff like that we're just kind of trying to build.
Go ahead. It just so happens.
I'm
wait.
the senior writer for that magazine,
Oh, really?
Kansas City Homes. And
And
Yeah.
she just wrote
There's
our
some
PR.
outside. Why don't you come and get some? I have some outside in my car.
She just wrote our PR release for our 40th anniversary, and she was gonna see if she could get that PR release in your magazine. And she
Why
said,
not?
I said, don't ask him on air. That would be inappropriate. But since you did,
But
we
here you
did.
are.
Here you are. And you
I
said,
don't know
okay.
why not.
Sure, the answer is yes. We just got
See,
to.
we like
So
that.
can I get
Thank
a
you very
copy?
much.
Sounds like a PSA to
Thank
me.
you, thank you very much. Okay.
Gotta do it.
So,
What do you think, Mrs. Producer?
I think it's hilarious.
She likes it.
of course.
Good.
So, what else you got?
Well, we're just out there looking to build Kansas City,
Oh, I got a
build
question.
jobs, do charities in Kansas City. We do a lot with Children's Mercy. We just had a big unveiling this week. They gave us a room for the Emily Rosebud Diabetic Research Foundation that we are do for research for a cure in diabetes and for kids, children's diabetes. And we do a lot with KU on research for a cure, Children's Mercy for a cure. We do a lot of events with that. We do a lot of other things with multiple charities. And we want all that money to stay in Kansas City, build jobs in Kansas City, and strengthen our commitment to helping Kansas City and
I love
it
it.
grow from a philanthropy standpoint rather than sending it to Pittsburgh or
Right.
New York or some other state.
Absolutely. So here's the next one. Did Sherman ask you to be an investor?
Sherman?
Royals.
No.
I would have thought you'd been on the short list.
I know some people that were in that. One of my old partners owned the Kings.
By the way, we're talking about the Royals when they got bought out,
Right. Sure.
and it was all bought out by local businessmen.
I know a bunch of folks that did get involved, and if I wanted to, I probably would have been welcomed into one of the little smaller groups of, where they put groups together. But my partner owned the Kansas City Kings. He did not do well with that team. And, when you have a bunch of partners, you really need to be prepared. He taught me that I didn't want to be an investor in a major team
I was
because it's just, I don't know anything about it. And I don't like to get involved in things I know nothing about.
I was
Yeah.
an investor
Except
with
maybe
the
a
ABA.
magazine.
I was an investor with the ABA Knights, which came in.
I
after,
remember them.
right? And I lost my money, and one of the things that I've taken away from that investment and many of the other investments that have not worked out so well,
Mhm.
unless I have 50% or more control, and it's in the wheelhouse of what I understand and do best, I got to take a pass
Yeah, exactly.
because otherwise, you might as well just write the check and give it away because you're never gonna.
I have a charity for that.
Right.
Yeah, my Rosebud charity. I'll leave a card when I leave here. Instead of putting in those investments, you just go ahead and I'll give
What's
you
the
the online
Rosebud
access.
charity?
That's the one for diabetes.
Oh, okay.
Do you have children?
I have 3. Yes.
Are your children going to be in your business?
One of them, my son is in my business, and
Is,
my
is
daughter, no, 2
is-
daughters are not.
is he bright enough to replace you?
Absolutely.
Is he pushing you aside yet?
He'd like to.
Is he trying to push you aside yet?
He'd love to.
Do
No, I
Do you have a-
love
you have a
our
food-
interaction.
do you have a food taster at work?
No.
I mean, if he wants to push you out, that one of the greatest challenges is that since the beginning of time, our sons trying to push their fathers out the door so they can have their shot.
I saw your son just got pushed out the front door a moment ago.
He walked out voluntarily. No one was kicking his butt.
What do you think, Mrs. Producer?
I witnessed it.
She saw it.
I have 2 boys working for us and my brother Adam, and I'm thrilled to death because they do all the heavy lifting. I'm a spectator now.
Isn't that fun?
It really is.
I want my son to get there,
Or are you
but
the
I need a lot of
mascot?
people with him, though.
You're the mascot.
I
Yeah,
am the mascot.
but you
are.
know who else was a pretty big mascot? Who was the biggest cheerleader of all time?
Well, there's a lot of them.
Who was the biggest cheerleader of all time in the retail industry of the United States of America?
Rose?
Sam Walton.
I thought it was Rose Bumpkin.
Well, Miss Rosie, yeah, Rosie and I did a lot of business with her. In fact, I bought a bunch of ground from her in Omaha. I still own it. Some shopping centers right there across from Nebraska Furniture Mart. Loved Rosie, but Sam Walton, she was a cheerleader, but he was the whole team.
Right.
What he did for
she was
the
not
Waltons.
she was not a cheerleader. She was front line, taking the bullets on the front line.
She'd run you over with her golf cart right in the store.
Right.
She'd drive me around in her golf cart.
Matter of fact,
Mrs. B.
we were in a meeting, right? I was in a business meeting with her. Long story. She gets in her cart and runs over my attorney's foot with her cart on her way out.
Did you
the
sell
door.
her carpet?
I bought carpet from her.
Did you? She
Oh,
was.
wait.
What a carpet she was.
I
Oh
was
my
a
God.
mill rep before I was a retailer. I never had a
Oh
chance
my
to
God.
sell her carpet, but from time to time she'd call me up and say, "I got carpet I need to get rid of. Come get it." And at one time, after she moved across the street,
Greatest story of all time.
she called me up and said, "I want to give you my business. I'll give you Mrs. B's warehouse." So my brother and I drove up
And
there.
and my shopping center is directly across the street facing that
So
store.
she was never tempted to run you over?
So you know the distance between the distance
Maybe she didn't know him well enough.
Probably
She did.
not.
The distance between Nebraska Furniture Mart and Mrs. B's warehouse, the distance between the two buildings could not be more than 60 feet,
Yeah, very close.
right?
It's right next door.
Just a 2-lane driveway in between, and there was no sidewalks. And she says, "I'll give you my business." I says, "Miss B, I'll take your business, but you got to give me a path to buying the building because I don't need your grandchildren being my landlord
Hmm.
or Warren Buffett
She said no.
being the landlord." And we were trying to work out a deal, and every
And Warren
time,
Buffett bought it.
no, Buffett already owned it. Buffett had already owned
Not Mrs.
Nebraska.
B's, though.
No,
He
No.
didn't own Mrs. B's
Right,
yet. He owned Nebraska Furniture Mart.
Right.
That's where he got really the greatest
Yeah,
story of
yeah.
all time. Where
and next time I buy a 94-year-old woman out,
nobody thought at
I'll-
94
I'll-
was going to open a new store.
I'll get her to sign a non-compete.
So she
Exactly.
was still working at 94.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
no, 104.
Oh yeah, she went all the way
Yeah.
She went
until
to
the
work
day she died.
5 days a week at 104.
Love it. Love
Right.
it.
And she was driving the cart since she was about 65, 70. And only because her legs were so short, she couldn't walk fast enough because the building was so huge.
I loved it.
Yeah.
That's
I loved working
amazing.
with her. She fired her in-laws during our negotiation because she didn't like the job they were doing. Her lawyer, I won't name any names, and then hired another guy, and then whew, the
You-
ground
you-
I bought from her, was so funny because he goes, "Oh, you go build on it." And he goes, "But you can do the dirt work, but not build the building." And I went ahead and built. I was building for Safeway right next to Crossroads Mall, buying the ground from her. I hadn't bought the ground yet, but I went ahead and started building my building. And the lawyer goes, he
I
calls
know
me
where
up.
this
and
is going. I know where this is going.
Oh my gosh, he calls me up one day, the lawyer, and he goes, "What are you doing?" I went over there and there's a building with a roof on it. You got to buy the ground. I go, "Oh, I knew I forgot something." And so I did buy the ground the next day, but he goes, "Mrs. B's going to fire me."
Aw.
He just got hired because she fired her, the in-laws, her
God.
family. Great story. But the one with Warren Buffett is a better story than any story.
You-
It shows you that you can work as long as you can work.
Do you know that they visited for about 2 hours? They shook hands, and a contract was not signed for 6 months after he took over. Excuse me. Inventory was not done for 6 months until after he took over. Here's something else very few people know. She did not know how to read or write English.
Really?
Yeah. She was running a
What
multi $300-400 million a year business
Now that I did not know.
and did not know how to read or write English.
But I never saw her read anything in front of me. I'd sit at many meetings with her, but
Did she have somebody with her?
she always had
she
people
moved
with
here.
her.
She moved here when she was a teenager from Russia, and she never learned how to read or write English.
Wow.
Was she reading Hebrew?
No, Russian.
Really?
Yeah.
Yiddish?
No, Russian. Maybe Yiddish, but Russian.
That's
I loved her little accent. Little
She,
thing.
by the way,
Little
she
thing.
she was, and I didn't meet her until late in life. I mean, I got a picture of her. Let me just put this down. I got a picture of her.
Oh, Mrs. B. I had a picture of
Aw.
Mrs. B. Look
That's
at
me
little
and-
Mrs.
Me and
B.
Mrs. B.
That's
That's me.
really?
Yeah.
wait.
You look
what?
like your son.
Let me see. Let me see this.
You look like your son.
Well,
Doesn't
thank
he?
goodness. Thank goodness he doesn't.
1986.
Thank goodness he doesn't look like the postman.
You know, I was
Oh,
with
wow.
Mrs. B in
let's
about-
just do this.
Go ahead. That's Mrs. B, the
Rose
most
Blumpkin.
famous Mrs. Nebraska Furniture Mart, most famous furniture lady
Probably
in
most-
the world. In the world.
And that's you.
What a lady she was.
She was rich. She was tough as
Oh, yeah,
nails.
yeah.
Tougher than you.
Oh,
Tougher than me.
She ran.
Way
She
tougher than
ran
me.
everybody around everybody's circle. She ran circles
Wow.
around everybody.
It's amazing how many companies came up in Omaha too, you know?
Yeah.
All the jewelry and all of the
That's her
furniture.
sister.
I know.
Her sister.
Yeah. Borsheims.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's so many
Buffett
businesses.
bought that out
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, he bought that too. Then Hellsberg's, you know, he bought all these companies from down.
You know, he was.
And you know, Bushman, Stanley Bushman, Hellsberg's partner, Charlie, and his brother Barnett, Billy Bushman, he was from Omaha, and his mother Esther looked like Mrs. Blumpkin, really, same height anyway.
Yeah. So I have about half a dozen really unusual
So
stories.
look around and see who else you got hanging around in here.
Gosh, I need to get out more.
You really do.
I do.
What else you got? What else do we got to talk about?
Let's talk more about your kids.
If you want to open a
No, no.
retail or restaurant, give me a call.
Okay, yeah, that'd be cool. I'm looking for a
There you
career
go.
change. But also outside of work, what are some of your hobbies? Some things you like to do?
Well, family, and then it's family. That's my hobby, is my girls and my boy. You know what I was just thinking about this morning? It was funny. I woke up and I said, I love to take my kids to either concerts that they want to go to or football. I love the roller coaster of the Chiefs so much. And I've been taking my kids since they were born. I mean, I used
Wow.
to carry them on my shoulders always. So my whole life, I've taken them out there. And I still take them. And, you know, it's so much fun. It's nothing but just giggles and enjoying it. Even if we lose, which I don't like doing, but it is so much fun. So I don't have a lot of hobbies. You know, I just like to, you know, I mean, the hobbies are these other kinds of companies that I've kind of
Right.
like I want to still open up my
Work-related
t-shirt
hobbies.
shop.
Right.
I want to open up my t-shirt shop where I make t-shirts and sweatpants and stuff. That's still got to I still have to do that.
See, I think that's so
See,
interesting.
so one of my business, I wanted
My
to
kids will
open up-
laugh at that one.
I wanted to open up on the plaza. Floors by Robert.
Yeah.
A
And that's
very-
what, your name backwards?
Robert is French, Robert.
Oh, same
Extremely
thing.
high end, and just the very, very best, very, very best. And when somebody says, "But I think I could find that cheaper somewhere else," we would say, "Then you obviously cannot afford to shop here."
Yeah. Come
Right.
back here into my little room back here where I have Big Bob stuff.
Right.
Well, outside. Go ahead.
So, did you meet Taylor Swift?
You know, I haven't met her. I've met Kelsey a couple times. He wouldn't probably remember me. And Mahomes, I've met multiple times. He probably remember me.
Nice guy.
But yeah, very good folks. I'm just so happy for them, and I'm so excited for Kansas City and you know the hoopla and other people, entertainment people, and other people that are really seeing Kansas City.
Yeah, Rob Lowe
I
was
mean-
at the game the other day. I was like, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
people are going Kansas City, really? I mean, because we've always been the cow town, you
flyover.
know.
Flyover.
And
Right.
now we're like, actually, it's really they're coming here and they're realizing that we're the best little big city in the country, really.
Yeah. Now I heard rumor, and we can cut this if it's not true. One of my sons told me. Did you hear that Rihanna bought a house on?
Yeah, on Ward Parkway.
Is that true? That you
Well,
know
I
of?
understand from a couple of residential people that is true. It's actually one of my partners' old house
Who?
up there.
Yeah, I knew it. Who?
It's
Rihanna.
up by
Wow.
55th and Ward Parkway, not 55th and Ward Parkway, but right by there. And yeah, and then going to be a sound studio,
Interesting.
which that house is. would be
And he's
perfect
still
for
going,
that.
who?
Who
Who?
does she play for?
Yeah, but I guess her partner's got some connections
Yes.
to Kansas City.
Oh, okay. Okay. Interesting.
And also my friend Lana Del Rey's got some connections to Kansas City. She's going to be coming here doing some stuff. You know her?
I've heard the name.
Well, she's a big entertainment.
Talking about
person.
Kansas City. We got the best barbecue in the country. Where's your go-to barbecue place?
Oh, that's not fair.
Okay, give
I
me
represent
three.
a
How
lot
about-
of barbecues.
How about three?
Well,
You had to go get one today.
I love Ollie Gates's barbecue sauce,
Mm.
and there's a lot of things at Ollie's that I love, and I love certain things at Jackie's place. Jack Stack.
Right.
Done a bunch of those. Love their barbecue. Q39 is good. I didn't do any of those, but I like their stuff. I love Rosedale. Rosedale's,
Right.
obviously go to my daughter's favorite. Love their sauce, their fries, but it's kind of everybody loves their own. I used to be a partner in Casey Masterpiece
Wow.
Restaurants.
Whatever happened to him? He was
Rich
on top
Davis.
of everything
Yeah.
and just imploded.
Well, they opened up a few restaurants. He sold the barbecue sauce to Kingsford Charcoal, and then we opened up some of those restaurants. And then I actually sold out. Me and some of the other partners sold out, and then they opened up in Chicago and St. Louis. That didn't work. Then they came back, and I came back in and tried to help them out again. And they already had a bad reputation at that point, and the reputation had killed them. And so, we had one on the plaza that's now very successful with Jackie's place, Fiorella. Jack Stack, and then the one out that I own the building on Metcalf too.
I remember they only had one way out south.
No, it was 100. It was at I-435 in Metcalf. I
Are you
owned the
talking about
building.
The one out off, like practically east of Stillwell.
Belton.
Yeah.
Belton.
That's still.
No.
Yeah,
Your
that's-
memories.
That's
you're
there?
losing.
No, that's
No,
Martin
Casey
City.
Masterpiece
No, not
Barbecue.
Casey Masterpiece.
talking
but
Jack Stack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stack.
Jack is still there, but Casey Masterpiece, we had one at 435 in Metcalf,
Right. That's the one
Right.
I go to.
Yeah. That's
and
before
McDonald's was in the other half of the
they-
building.
Now they got the.
And I
the-
owned that with
Sky-
Cecil
the
Van
parachute.
Tile.
Parachute
Not
guy.
Was a partner in
skydiving,
that.
that was it.
Right.
Goes way back. So yeah.
Well, I have a quick
Those are
question.
my barbecues.
I have a quick question though, not related to barbecue, but you can throw
Uh-huh.
some sauce on this, the comeback sauce. If one wanted to invest in something outside of working capital, what type of individual succeeds at doing something like that? Present company excluded.
We'll invest. It depends. I think that in this day and age, there's the internet to get information. And if I was going to invest in something, you need to really do your, what
Due
did we call
diligence.
that thing that we didn't do in high school?
Homework.
Yeah. The stuff you didn't do in high school. Well, wait, I didn't do. A lot of
I
people
didn't
did.
do it.
Okay.
We know your story.
And then, but I'm just saying, well, we're in sales. So, we got through on sales, our sales ability. But, do your homework, research it. Don't depend upon other people's opinion. Make your own. And then when you really have to trust people when you invest with them. But if you've done your homework, you've really limited your potential loss. And don't put money into anything that you cannot afford to lose at all.
Right.
It's about risk reward. I would be telling people, don't sign debt personally. Don't have your wife sign personally. Don't have your husband signed on when you're going into investments. You might just, go in and say, I'll take a piece of it, but I'm not going to be signing any debt. That's the way you can protect your long-term, lifestyle.
I would also say no dilution and no capital calls.
Yeah. And if you can do that, that's great. I mean,
No
like when you go into these huge investments, if you go, I really, really want to go into it, you have two choices, though, in some of those. You're either going to get diluted or you're going to have cash costs. So, but that's very speculative investment normally, like a Royals or a new NBA team, which eventually we'll probably get
You
one.
want to see NBA or NHL?
Well, I think NBA, I'd like to see NBA, but, it's going to take $2 billion. And Kansas City doesn't really have that
But
person yet.
Mobile doesn't want them because they got it booked without the basketball.
Exactly. That's right. And they do. They have it filled, and it's one of the most successful without it because of the availability.
What about where the new stadium goes? Do you have a preference?
You need me to answer that?
I don't
He
know what
doesn't
land.
want to.
I don't know what land you own. I'm so
Where's Chapels?
right. Okay.
right in front of the one. If it went North Kansas City,
Right.
it'd be directly in front of it. But so I have a personal interest in that. You know, I know that the mayor and obviously Kansas City, Missouri, most of the council people would like to see it downtown. I just think that you know, it's there's still a long way to go to get that deal done. I'd love to see something happen. Just get it solidified wherever it goes,
So
even if it stayed where it was at. I don't,
See,
you know. I mean,
for me, I don't understand downtown. At 5 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon right now, it's bumper to bumper to get in and out of the city.
right.
And that's without a baseball team downtown. How are they gonna handle an extra 20,000 cars? How?
Not easily.
You can't widen that
It
highway.
won't be easy.
You can't widen that highway going through downtown.
And sales
So,
tax, you got to
Right, right.
remember that too, though.
are you going to own the park that covers the highway?
That's pretty cool though.
No, that's great. Yeah, I want to do that on the plaza, though.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Cover
What,
Brush
build a
Creek
dome?
up with a part of it.
Build the dome?
Cover
over
part
it?
of Brush Creek and make it a public park. You know, that's what I'd like to
Nice.
do down there over by the tennis courts. But irrespective, I think that's great for downtown. That will be good. You know, they were talking about putting the arena, which is the old Kansas City Star building.
Right.
And that would have been, I thought, a great location because it'd be across from T-Mobile. But that's not in the final. You know, I'm not the owner. To me, it's the owner's decision, along with whatever they need to get. You know, with the city. I think one of the issues has been that no matter where they go, there's going to be a sales tax generator portion of it, and it's got to get approved. So even after they go, we'll go here, they've got to get a sales tax approved. North of the river, they're talking 1 cent. Downtown, they're talking 3/8 of a cent. And so you got to get all the public to buy into this increased sales tax.
I live in Johnson County. I don't care. Mr. David Block, man, you have been absolutely
My pleasure.
you're a community treasure,
I-
literally and figuratively.
Well, thank you.
Thank
so
you very much for your
Thank you, folks, too.
juice.
All
and
5
your
of
time.
you.
Right. 6.
Now there'll be 12.
By the
No,
way,
wait, I'll tell my wife to get on. There'll be 7 of you now.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You've been a joy.
A
Nice to meet
pleasure.
you.
Thank you so much.
Till next time. Thank you.
See ya.